all the time.
Sarah had been trying to write a book for ages, but she was still on page 1 until she discovered SpeakYourOwnBook.com. Sarah teamed up with one of our trained writing coaches who listened to Sarah's book idea, asked the right questions, and guided Sarah every step of the way. In 90 minutes, they had written the outline for Sarah's entire book. Within weeks, using the speak writing method, Sarah became a published author, both online and in print. Whether it's a textbook, an autobiography, a novel, or a children's book, SpeakYourOwnBook.com can help.
Yeah!
Visit our website today to download our free 50-question guide and schedule your free consultation. With Speak Writing, anyone can publish a book. Speak your own book today. You speak, we write.
Hi, Jason Hoddle here. My craft name is Fluffy. I'm a tarot reader, and I'm excited to work with you through tarot to help you discover the best possible version of yourself. Together, we can help you tell your story, and we could also project the story you desire into your future. I am a three-legged wolf. I lost my lower leg last year through an accident, but through that accident, I found my humor. And through humor, I found my magic. And through humor, I found love. Through humor, I've discovered all things are possible. So give me a call, text me. I'm all over Facebook. Use the hashtag #WithTheFluff through social media to track me down. Love ya. Bye.
Hey folks, it is time for another episode of the Millennial Magician Archives. And today for episode number 5, we're going to be doing some talking about tarot in particular. I got 2 new decks, and so part of this is going to be an unboxing. And then there's also going to be a discussion about the various ways that the tarot can be used to enhance psychic abilities and spirit communication. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Here we go. Alright, so the first deck that I got is called Queer Tarot. The Queer Tarot is a deck that I got from Spencer's, and it is by 2 individuals called Ash and Chess. 2 humans. So this is what the cover, the whole kind of thing looks like. And it's, got this magnetic flap to keep it closed. Initially, one of the things that I do want to say about Queer Tarot is that I'm super glad that there is a deck dedicated to just queer symbolism and queer iconography. I don't know what is on any of these cards yet, and so I'm excited to see it. But I will say that, of course, representation matters. And just as excited as I am to see a deck that is all about people of color, all about black people, all about Latinx people, I'm also excited to see a deck that is specifically about queer people. Not just people who are gay, not just people who are lesbian, not just people who identify as trans, but the entire spectrum of queerdom, incorporated together in a deck. And so that is one of the preconceived notions that I'm walking in with looking at this deck, is that I'm really hoping that it's just not gay people, it's just not lesbian people, it's just not bisexual people, that it is inclusive of whatever might fall underneath the umbrella of queer. Because, of course, representation matters, and seeing a deck that demonstrates how people who are queer coexist is super exciting. So automatically, that's what I'm hoping is going on in this deck. Alright, so we got the guidebook, which is up on top. Queer Tarot Guidebook. Color pages, love it. And it looks like it's indexed. Maybe it's not. It does use some phenomenal colors in here, some neons, greens, blues, but lots of oranges. So I don't want to look at the guidebook just yet. I'm really interested in seeing what's in here. Alright, so here's the deck. Unopened. Love it. Got the plastic still here on the deck, keeping it legit. And of course, the first card that I see is the Fool. Classic. Just go ahead and open this up for a minute. Got it. Alright, big cards. Alright. Alright, so off the bat, we got the Fool, of course. One of the things that I'm noticing is that the Fool is pretty femme-presenting. There is a rainbow off in the back, a spectrum, and the spectrum here does include black and brown, which is dope on a rope. The Fool here is wearing a dress, got some boots on, some green boots. Of course, there's a little doggy dog in the back doing a little barky thing. And this looks like a little purse doggy. Sun is in the back, the 0 is on there, it's labeled the Fool. There's some mountains in the back. The backdrop on the sky is white, all white. Which could be symbolic in and of itself. And then, there's just like some sparklies, just like around the figure. Almost like there's just like glitter falling around them. The ground that the Fool is walking on does not seem to be the same color as the mountains in the distance. There's some good use of oranges and pinks here for the ground. Second card up is the Magician, of course. This Magician is, again, slightly, not slightly, is femme-presenting. But this Magician appears to be bald. Dope on a rope. The reason why I say this one is femme-presenting is because there's some clothing on this image, on this figure, that it looks like it's made to hold some boobs. On the altar, of course, we see the rod, we see the sword, we see the pentacle, we see the chalice, and then the figure, the magician themselves, is holding a wand in the traditional manner, and they're pointing down towards the ground in traditional manner. They have like a radiant kind of halo about them, and it's outlined by some flowers, some growing things. And then there's some flowers and growy things that are at the top of the deck and at the bottom of the deck and kind of growing on the legs of the altar. Of course, they got the luminoscot above the magician's head, per usual. And I do see the symbols that are also carved in on the altar. It's cool too. The High Priestess, black person, wearing some lipstick. The crescent moon is down at the bottom. They continue to sit in between the black and white pillars, which I think are Jacinth and Boaz, if my memory serves correctly. There's also kind of like the pomegranate theme that's still going on in this one, like in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. This black figure is wearing what looks like some African style clothing. They got a purple head wrap on their head. That's pretty dope. The Empress. Alright. Empress is wearing a romper. That's cool. Of course, sitting on the comfortable throne. Got some running water in the background, of course. Got some greenery going. This one's got some blonde hair going on. Things growing all around them. Oh, I love the symbol on the little heart. So if you remember the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Empress has a heart-shaped shield, and it has the symbol for Venus on it. But this one has a slightly different symbol. Y'all know what that's about? So right here, not just Venus, not just Mars. I'm here for it. Actually, I'm going to put that one out there because that is part of what I want to talk about. The Emperor. Okay, so this one is mask presenting. Okay. So immediately, I can't tell if these are meant to be flames or if these are meant to be mountains or rocks behind the Emperor because they're colored in orange and yellow. And then there's some flowy, what appears to be water kinds of things by the throne of the Emperor. Got some nice colorful ram's heads, in the same places where they would be on the Rider-Waite-Smith, but lots and lots of color. This person is wearing some really colorful pants. They are holding a staff that has, the symbol for trans. The same symbol that was on the Empress on the shield is a staff that the Emperor is holding. And then also, the Emperor is shirtless but is wearing a toga. And there is a very interesting choice on the Emperor just right underneath the pec or the chest. It looks like a line for where there was a mastectomy. So I'm wondering if the Emperor is like a trans man. There's the Emperor. And so right here, you see that line right there? That's the line that I'm thinking about represents the mastectomy. So I think that's real cool. And then also, if you notice, the ram's heads have like tons of color. And then the background, you can tell. I can't tell if those are meant to be mountains or if they're meant to be flames, but either way. Got some tattoos on. It's pretty excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stars on the platform that the throne is on. I don't know if that's significant, but it is a master number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 stars on the throne itself. So 20 equals 2. So does 11 actually, if you were to reduce it. The Hierophant. All right now. Got some greens, some pinks, some lavenders. Also a mask presenting person. Got the upward turn keys on here, of course. Got the 2 acolytes per usual. Radiance coming from the crown area of this Hierophant. Very cool, very cool. In this particular one, I can almost kind of make out a bun on one of the backs of the heads and just like a regular kind of haircut on the other. But because this is the Queer Tarot, I don't want to make any assumptions about whether or not hairstyle indicates gender, you know? But in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the acolytes on the Hierophant have like that little baldy thing. So yeah. Okay, now the Lovers. All right, so the Lovers look like 2 femme-presenting individuals. And, you know, I definitely don't want to make any assumptions about whether or not one is a dude or is a girl, so I'm just going to go ahead and call them femme-presenting. Keeping in mind that, of course, like, someone could be in drag in this one, if that's kind of, like, you know, included in here. But the Lovers have 2 femme-presenting people. One is wearing a halter top with strawberries all over it. Another one is wearing like a tunic, and they have some pink stockings coming all the way up. It looks like they're, you know, held up with and connected to a garter a little bit. The angel, where the angel usually is in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, is someone who appears to be masculine to a degree. Like there's an exposed hairy chest and, you know, exposed kind of beard, but the hair is pink. There's clearly some eyeshadow. There's clearly some lipstick going on. They are, of course, in the clouds, and in the back there are some pink mountains. That's so great. I wonder if there's a specific choice behind like the color patterns and like the checkers and stuff that's included in the clothing. Because so far, very many of these cards, with, you know, the exception of the High Priestess so far, almost every character has like a checker pattern in their clothing. And I'm wondering if that's a symbolic representation. All right, Chariot. Oh, 2 doggies. Strength is another person of color. This one is got the lion, got the luminous, got. This one has the spectrum, but doesn't have the black and brown components to it. Oh, the hermit. It's very cute. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, it's got a cat. A cat, a bull, a bird of some sort, and then a humanoid figure. Justice. The sword, the scales. Pinstripe suit. Got a headdress. Death. I love it. Death has a baseball cap on. I'm so here for it. Looks like potentially a leather jacket. Some orange bottoms with strawberry prints on there. Person of color in the death card as well. Temperance. All right. All right, Temperance. Temperance got a nice gown on with a high little slit going through it. Got a little choker around the neck. Pouring the liquid between the goblets, of course. Sunshine in the background. Upturned triangle. Colored pinkish. Maybe magenta. I don't know my colors. Do I know my colors? The Temperance is giving Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show, but in high fashion. See why I say that? It's definitely giving Tim Curry Rocky Horror Picture Show high fashion. The devil is giving Karen-ish vibes. Huh. Alright, tattoos. Alright. The legs of the devil kind of form a heart picture, even though they're not necessarily a heart. You can see the talons and stuff on the little pillar that it's on. Still got the chains. Little BDSM kind of imagery going on here. Black background. Still got the torch facing downwards. See how the heart, or see how the legs kind of make a slightly heart symbol, even though that's, you can tell, like, once you get up close, you can see the talons and stuff. But it kind of looks like a heart. And I think that might be one of the keys to understanding the devil card, is that it looks like love, but it's really not. Alright, so I want to move away from the major arcana real quick and see what's going on in these minor arcana cards. Alright, so now we in the Wands place. Ace of Wands. Just a hand with some done sharp fingernails. Handing out that staff. Got the rainbow in the background. It's black, gray, white, purple. Person of color, the Two of Wands. Love it. Mask presenting kind of individual for the Three of Wands. Okay, Four of Wands on a checkerboard pattern. Some stars there. Everybody fighting in this Five of Wands. Six of Wands. The horse is wearing a covering that has some cherries on it. Person of color riding the horse. They the one who won. Here for it. Seven of Wands. The figure has an afro. Nine of Wands. Another person of color. Okay, diversity. Sure enough, representation does matter. Okay, hairstyles. Queen of Wands. Looks like it might be Drag Queen of Wands. This figure here, looks like they do have a little mustache going on. Okay, and then the King of Wands looks a little bit femme presenting for sure. I love it. In the back they got the Ouroboros, the lion, and a puppy. It looks like a little poodle. Okay, I really do kind of like this. Some good diversity. It's really hard to make assumptions about the genders of folks in here based on what they're wearing. Really like that. Lots of different styles as far as what the people are wearing. Like I'm seeing head wraps, head dresses. I'm seeing, style clothing that comes from various cultures. Loving the patterns. I'm seeing the nods to the various kinds of, flags that represent the LGBTQIA plus spectrum. So like right now I'm looking at the bisexual flag. I'm seeing a few spectrum here, like the Roy G. Biv kind of rainbow, but I'm seeing the inclusion of the black and brown. I love what they're doing with the facial hair as well. I'm really seeing, the various different ways that facial hair grows on people, on mass presenting people. Like I'm seeing that represented here as well. I really do like. So one of the things that I want to say about why it's important to have a specifically queer tarot and what the benefit is from having a tarot deck that uses queer imagery, queer icons, and some queer concepts is that it allows us to expand our own symbolic dictionary, our own symbol lexicon, to incorporate the lives, ideas, and energies of people who identify as queer. So, for example, when it comes to communicating with spirit clairvoyantly, and the spirit that you're working with is, they only have symbols that you recognize or can easily draw into memory, right? If they show you a symbol, you might not know what it is, you might not recognize it, you might have to go searching for it, and that's part of how a message gets worked is you and the spirit that you're working with, y'all all we both have to do the best that we can to understand each other and understand what's going on there. So let's say, for example, that you've never seen a rainbow that included black and brown in it before. You might not have any idea what your spirit is trying to tell you if they show you that. Or if you have seen it before, but you've never researched what it meant or why it's like that, you might not know what it is that your spirit is trying to communicate with you by specifically showing you a rainbow that includes black or brown. Just want to shuffle that up real quick. I'm going to put these back in the deck. The deck back in the box. Let's see what they got to say in the book. Welcome to the Queer Tarot Guidebook, a tool we hope guides you on your path to self-discovery and self-love. Tarot is a wonderful way to explore how you perceive the world around you and the situations you face in your day-to-day life. And we thought it only necessary that the queer community have a deck that focuses on the trials and tribulations we face living our truth every day. Yes! In a world where trans people are consistently stripped of their rights and endangered, queer couples are discriminated against in family planning, and fatal hate crimes continue to happen without justice, queer people need a safe space and something to turn to when things get really ugly. Absolutely. While the deck can't fix the injustices forced upon the queer community by the outside world, we hope it can be a guiding light for inner growth and strength for queers everywhere. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see what they have to say about the cards. All right, so they do have information on spreads and whatnot. Oh, let's see. So they got choosing a spread. Okay, so spectrum spread. A classic spread in tarot is a simple 3-card option, with the cards representing the past, present, and future. The spectrum spread draws on that traditional formulation, but with a little something extra for each card you will pull. In this 6-card spread, you can navigate the past, present, and future with a reflection card for each, lending you deeper insight. And you can use this spread for queer identity, coming out, exploration of self, sexuality, generally all things queer. Okay. Identity spread. The identity spread is a simple 3-card spread that is intended to help you pinpoint what might be holding you back from living your fullest potential at this moment in time. Whether you are questioning your gender identity, your sexuality, or even your beliefs, this spread can be a simple way to start unpacking those feelings. So you use this when you feel stuck, when you lose sight of yourself, when you don't know who you are, or if you want to be coming out. Oh, I like it. I love it. A spread for when you're feeling doubtful or unconfident. A spread for exploring dynamics in relationships. Next steps, connection to people, and entering new relationships. Important. All right. I'm so here for it. I really like that this includes some information about using a spread for coming out, working towards understanding personal identity from a queer perspective. Okay. All right, Major Arcana. All right. So it's not necessarily giving any information about the clothes or any of the symbols that the Fool has. Okay. Alright, so it doesn't look like um, it doesn't look like they're giving any information to um, any symbolism that may have been encoded in the clothing or on the card. It does talk about who the models are for the card, though, and the gender pronouns that they use. So we got some they, she's, they, them, they, he, him, she, her. All right. We got a they, him, she. Love it so much. And then let's see. And I'm looking at the entry for the Six of Cups right here. Alright, so it's given some detail about the card and what it means, of course, but they're not giving any information about what any of the symbols mean in here. So perhaps some of the stuff that we see in the card, like some of the, checkerboards that I was kind of drawn into don't necessarily have any meaning. None of the prints on the clothes have any meaning. However, that would be something that I chose to do with this deck, is I would choose to focus on recognizing or learning about the symbols that are in here. So in the same vein as making sure people who identify as queer have some symbolism and something to turn to and look to, a pictorial way to recognize some of the trials and tribulations that we go through. Another deck that I think is pretty important to help expand that symbolic lexicon, expand that, symbolism, so that, when it comes to spirit communication, we want to make sure that spirit has a variety of different ways of talking to us, where we can identify context, we can identify time period if necessary, we can identify if spirit is talking to us about something that happened in the past, present, or future. If we want to, identify, an issue that is specific to, the treatment of women, or, anything in that kind of vein. The tarot is a great tool to help expand that. And what I have here is the Sacred Feminine Tarot. Tarot of the Sacred Feminine. So I actually got this deck as a gift for someone. And what I will say is that even if you don't end up using a tarot deck, for intensive readings or what have you, it's important to take a look at the various ways that the symbols are represented so that you can encode it into your memory, and that is something that your spirit guides, your ancestors, your patrons, your servitors, what have you, they have that as a language to talk to you with. So the Tarot of the Sacred Feminine has all femme-presenting characters. And it looks like they come from a variety of different cultures as well. it showcases women in a variety of different positions. So some are nurturing and, are feeding children from their bodies. Some are scowling. The representation of death is pretty cool here. It's just got a woman with her mouth open, with people walking into that. Like, that's where y'all going, right into the mouth of the crone. That's dope. We got this one drinking the blood of her enemies. Got another one on the battlefield. So the imagery related to the tarot, and I'm talking specifically about the tarot, not necessarily oracle cards or, anything like that, but specifically the imagery of the tarot can aid in your development of clairvoyance, and, the stuff that you're able to see with your mental eye, your third eye. And one of the exercises you can do is you can play a memory with the tarot cards, or you can use them as flashcards, and you turn over a card and you work on memorizing what the symbols are in the card and what they mean. So you turn over the death card and you see the flag with the flower on it. What does the flower mean? You see the skeleton. What does the skeleton mean? You see the white horse. What does the white horse mean? And, in that kind of way, you build your lexicon of symbols that can be shown to you in mental imagery when you are working with your guides, your spirits, your ancestors, and your patrons, the pantheon that you work with. And the reason why I suggest using multiple decks or looking at multiple decks is because, you can get a tarot deck that has a specific theme. The theme can be, the myth of Arthur, King Arthur. And so the symbols that the author uses to include in that deck can be linked to that myth and linked to that storyline. And you can use that deck to, one, help you get to know the mythology and the story, help you get to know some of the tools that were used, in that day, help you build a connection with the spirits that are associated with that myth. So building a connection with Arthur, with Merlin, with Morgana, with Mordred, with Percival, with Lancelot, with Guinevere, with the Lady of the Lake. And so you start to build a relationship with the spirits associated with that myth, with the symbols in that deck, and not only now are you enhancing your ability to perceive clairvoyantly, but you're also enhancing your ability to use that myth to help create change in your life or in the lives of people that you work with. And so now you're moving from a divinatory tool to a tool that helps you perceive symbols when you're working on channeling, to now a tool that you use to work on impacting your situation. We got a third deck here that I want to talk about real quick, and this is the Golden Edition Tarot set, and I also got this from Spencer's. And it's pretty. Not opened yet, and it looks like this deck was made with golden leaf, which is, I'm told, real gold, but just like real fine, foil sheets of gold. So I wanted to look at this, open it up, and share it with y'all. Just because I'm hoping it's real pretty, and I'm wondering what's inside. And of course, the first card is the Fool. Oh wow, it's so shiny. It's so shiny, y'all. Look at that. They're all gold. Look at this. They're all gold. This is the Magician right here. This is cool. High Priestess. Man, this is such a luxurious deck. I cannot imagine shuffling this. And so that right there automatically illuminates an attachment. So if you've been watching from the first episode, you know the first episode that I did was about values, and I talked specifically about the yamas and the niyamas and the Corellian virtues. And my desire to not shuffle these to kind of maintain their integrity is demonstrating an attachment to this non-physical item. I want to keep it intact for some reason. Every single last one, foil. Oh wow, the Tower. Look at that bad mamma jamma. The Sun is all of these cards are so gorgeous. So with these cards, I don't know, how would I want to use them? How do I want to use them? These are novelty, of course. How? Money spells, of course, attracting that gold. Absolutely a thing. Basically, I did just want to show these off a little bit because these are so pretty. And I was hoping that they were gold leaf holographic all the way throughout. And it appears that they are. Work on not building an attachment to these bad mamma jammas, because I don't want to be all mad and devastated when they get candle wax on them, or if a piece of stray ember from an incense or a candle lands on it. And automatically my brain is going into what could Spirit be trying to communicate with me if they show me a golden Ace of Pentacles instead of the regular Ace of Pentacles that I'm used to seeing. And, you know, kind of giving this deck a meaning, or working with Spirit to develop a meaning for why I would be seeing a golden representation of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck instead of a regular one would be a way for me to increase my facilitation of clairvoyance, increase my ability to communicate with Spirit on multiple different levels. And then for magic, how can I use these and the energy that's bound up in these as a holographic golden deck to increase magic? So if y'all stay tuned for more episodes, you will likely see how I manage this, or you'll see these again. But I basically just wanted to do an unboxing, talk about the importance of expanding your repertoire of symbols, and how that can impact, you know, your oh, it's got a velvet bag. That's nice. Squirrel. But yeah, so how using tarot for, you know, expanding your ability to practice clairvoyance, expanding your confidence in, you know, channeling spirit messages, because you will be able to go back to your tarot and be like, okay, that's what this symbol is. So from now on, I know that whenever Spirit shows me this symbol, this is what it means, this is what it's for, what have you, what have you. So we looked at 3 decks. Everywhere from mild to wild. And, across different kind of ways of thinking and being. So we looked at the queer, and we spent quite a bit of time on that. And we looked at the sacred feminine as a different way of recognizing how, the sacred feminine can show up and impact how we think about symbols. And then we took a look at it like a very pretty, just standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck that was all golden. And all of that just to say, the tarot is a great tool to help you learn divination, learn how to read for circumstance and, read for what's going on. It's good to help you build a mental lexicon of symbols so that Spirit can tap into that when you are channeling, when you're doing maybe mediumship, or maybe if you're having a conversation with someone and Spirit chooses to show you something, and you're like, there's some information that Spirit is showing me about this interaction in my life, and you can use that to help you make some decisions. And then also on a magical level, you can use the tarot to help you change your circumstance or some situations. Hopefully you found this entertaining, you found some insight into this, and hopefully you will be looking to, incorporate some more tarot into your magic and into, the way that you practice. Next time, blessed be.